Have you ever felt?
Are you listening? Damn. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
What's going on, guys? Coming to you today with the last week of off-season until I start about 12 weeks out from the U.S. Open. Just kind of want to talk today a little bit about the bench press. Seems to be that everyone is always looking for ways to improve it and trying to find, little tips and tricks here and there to get a little bit tighter. And kind of one of the things that I like to do whenever I'm benching is I like to take away as many cues as possible, as long as it doesn't compromise the technique. So what I mean by that is, if you watch me bench, I'll lift my head and I'll wear a belt. And what the belt does is it cues me to brace hard and to make sure that everything is tight from my core all the way down to my toes. So with the belt on there, it gives you kind of that external cue of proprioception to push into it. So without the belt, it's just one extra thing I have to think about. So I put the belt on, not super tight. It's a 10 millimeter belt. I wouldn't use a 13 millimeter belt. And that allows me to remind myself to push in, breathe tight, and just give it everything I have. I lift my head because it reminds me to throw it back, right? So whenever you're bench pressing, you don't want to try to push the weight up. You want to try to push yourself back into the ground, into the bench. So I lift my head just enough to give me a cue to drive it back on the press command. The thing you want to be aware of is if you lift your head too much, your shoulders will start to roll forward, which will cause a lot of problems in your shoulder joint and give you shoulder issues down the road. So you want to make sure if you're lifting your head while you're benching, that your shoulders stay intact and in place. And if you see them rolling forward, maybe lifting your head might not be the best thing for you. So within those two things, those are two easy cues that I've given myself to kind of take away the thought process of doing those things. So I eliminate that, so then all I can have to focus on is leg drive and making sure that I'm gripping the bar tight and pushing out, right? So leg drive is pretty important, but you want to make sure not only that you're driving through your legs, but that you are squeezing your glutes, flexing your quads, and keeping your knees out, right? Same thing with squats. You want to make sure your knees stay out. So if you're benching and you're getting loose in your feet and in your knees and they're coming towards the bench, that's probably going to be a clear sign, one, that you're not tight, and two, that your butt's probably going to come up because you're pushing up and not backwards. Also, kind of getting tight in the back and shoulder area, me and Kaylee put together a quick little video for you guys to check out where we're demonstrating a nice little technique.
What's going on, guys? Tony and Kaylee here. Just kind of piggybacking off what Des showed you guys the other day with the bench presses. A lot of people, when you tell them to set up for the bench press, they'll get their back tight and they'll pull back here, right? But what you want to do is you want to pull back and down. So a good cue, a coaching cue, is have them set up a band on a pull-up bar. Go ahead, get in. And from there, you're just going to mimic that pulling back and down movement with the band underneath the armpits. And you're just going to pull down onto the band, and that'll set your lats and get your shoulder blades locked into place. And you just do that for 8 to 10 reps, 1 to 2 sets before every bench workout. And it should help you get everything set, so that way you know exactly where the bench should be and everything locked into place. So try that out if you guys have an issue with getting your back tight on the bench press.
So as you can see in the video, one of the biggest problems that a lot of people have on the bench press is they pull their shoulder blades back, but they don't pull them down. And adding that exercise in is a great way to learn to cue the shoulder rotation down and back at the same time. And what this does is it helps get your shoulder, the AC joint and the socket, into a better, more advantageous position to not only press more weight, but to keep it safe and to keep it healthy. So if you're limited by that, then you can also look into maybe some T-spine work to help with extension, and also make sure that your scapula is free enough in order to do that. If it's not free, you may want to look into getting some ART work done or Graston work done so that you're able to pull them down and back towards your pockets. So that will allow you to be more on your traps and have everything tight and engaged. And if you're on your traps and you're driving with your feet back towards your spotter instead of straight up, then that'll give you that leg drive to move the bar horizontally while you're pressing it vertically and give you that nice arc that you're looking for on the bench press. So I hope some of these tips helped you guys out. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share. And until next time, guys, take care.